Hey guys, welcome back to Daily Insomnia, episode 113. Whew, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's a little nerve wracking. It's a little nerve wracking doing a podcast on my own now. Obviously, for our listeners, you guys know that KingDiaz is on vacay. He's working in Florida. He's gonna be out there till March, late March probably. So he won't be joining the podcast until then. So in the meantime, I'm carrying this motherfucker. I'm going to be trying to keep you guys entertained as long as possible for as long as I can. So I can't guarantee you guys it's going to be a hour-long podcast like we're used to. But I'm going to try my best to keep it as long as possible. I'm aiming for that like 30 to 45 mark, hopefully for at least for this episode. And then as I get more comfortable talking to no one basically, then we'll start doing, hopefully we can get up to an hour. But otherwise, thank you guys for coming back. This is episode 113, the first solo episode in Daily Insomnia history, and let's see how it goes. Fuck it. All we can do is drink and try to laugh. By the way, guys, we have a new drink for the month. It's a gin drink. So, as you guys know, we go from gin, tequila, rum, and whiskey. So we change every month the flavor of the drink. And this month we're back on gin. And the drink I made for this episode, for this month, is called a roseberry. It's basically a rosemary, raspberry, lemon, simple syrup gin drink. And it's really good, guys. I'm enjoying it so far. You know, usually by the end of the month, I get pretty bored of the drink. I'm not gonna lie. Like sometimes I think one drink for the whole month is kind of boring, but overall, I mean, a good drink, so I can't complain either. Once I get into it, I'm like, whatever. Let's keep going. Let's down this motherfucker. But otherwise, guys, we were off last week, for the week of Thanksgiving. I was setting up the new studio. I was trying to get it to the point where I feel most comfortable in it. So, you know, as you remember the old setup, we had my couch, and then we had the long couch. And I thought about keeping it like that for this episode. But the problem was that I felt like if I would just sit in the sofa, I wouldn't be able to keep the show going as long, or it'd be uncomfortable to be able to like type something up if I wanted to look at it, and I would probably run out of conversation pretty quickly. So I felt like this would be the best setup: getting the desk, keeping the corner of the show basically the same. I just hang the Daft Punk picture behind me, but otherwise, everything's basically the same here. Just the desk and moving some of the pup funk. Dragon Ball Z, the little toys or whatever you want to call them, to the desk and putting the light here. And otherwise, yeah, everything's pretty much the same. The same things, just in a new way. So basically it took me a week to kind of get everything set up. I wanted the cameras to be looking in the same, like get a good angle for the video. And hopefully this works, guys. If not, let me know in the comments. Let me know if you guys want to see it from a different angle, or even let me know if you guys want to go back to the couch. Either way, we'll try our best, guys. We'll try our best. 4 minutes in, and I'm doing all right. Struggle City, bro. Struggle City. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Otherwise, Thanksgiving was fun. Spent the time with family. Ate a lot of food. Ate probably too much. I mean, that's the thing with Mexican Thanksgivings. There's always too much food. Too much food. You finish one plate and then the next plate's already on its way. Like you can't say no. You try to say no. You try to do it politely, like, hey, please, no mas. I can't anymore. Like I need to take a break. Like, no, come on, keep eating, keep going, come on, what's one more taco, what's one more plate, come on. I mean, it's not easy, man. Trying to stay fit on a Mexican diet, it's almost impossible. I mean, just look at Diaz. I mean, he's on multiple diets. Probably the main reason why he's not fit. But yeah, it's not good, man. It's not good. But overall, fun time. But let's get into it. Let's see what's going on. Let's start off with this. So I was at work. I was heading to work yesterday, and sometimes I stop by the gas station beforehand to pick up like a couple snacks or whatever, hot Cheetos, some energy drinks, or whatever the case is. I stop every once in a while, and so I usually like to go in there, get out as quick as possible so I can stay on time when it comes to work, to get in on time to work. So I go in there, and the first thing I see is this tall dude at the cashier, and he's like talking about like the holidays. Like, yeah, this holidays, it's one of those things where we can't say Merry Christmas anymore. Blah blah blah. He's going at it, and I ignore him. I just go and get my drink. But as soon as I came back, he's like, so you're trying to tell me you can't say happy holidays anymore because of the Muslims? God forbid we offend the Muslims. And I'm like, okay. All right, I see where this is going. This is about to get super uncomfortable real quickly. And I'm like the second person in the line to like pay for my things. And this guy's just going at it. He's going on an anti-Muslim rant. I mean, just like to paint a picture of what this dude looked like. So it's a small town with the gas station I stopped in. And this guy, he's like, he had like the redneck feel to it. He had a camel jacket, dirty jeans with mud on. So I mean, he's probably like a working man. I mean, you could just tell the he's had a rough life, or a hardworking life, or a drinking life. Either way, they both look the same. And so I'm in line, and this guy, he must have felt me or something, that because he's going at it, he's just talking to the cashier, and the cashier's kind of like ignoring him, kind of paying attention, and he must have felt like a brown dude, like the feeling of a brown man behind him. So he turns around and he looks at me, and I felt like he double checked to make sure I wasn't one of those browns. Was it like the Muslim brown or was it like the Mexican brown? Because as soon as he took a look at me, he went back at it. He's like, yeah, Muslims is, God forbid we offend the Muslims, and we can't say happy holidays anymore because of the Muslims, and blah, 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 blah. I was like, oh, fuck, dude. And then when it was my turn to get into like, to pay for my things, I was like, don't say anything to me, man. Don't acknowledge me. Ignore me. Don't talk to me. And luckily he didn't say shit to me. Because it's one of those moments where it's like, I mean, I probably would have been like, just like nod and be like, yeah, Muslims, yeah. And then walked away. But I was like, for a moment, I was like, oh man, is this one of those like war star hip hop moments? You know what I mean? Where, like you put up the video of the man ranting against Muslims, and then next thing you know, he gets fired from his work. He's, you know what I mean? Like, was this a moment? Was this my moment to be Facebook famous or YouTube famous? Recording a man going on an anti-Muslim rant, then, hashtag MAGA in there just to get the fucking crowd going. But, I mean, small town, like I said, so I was like the only colored person in that whole gas station. Everybody else was white. And, yeah, like I said, he didn't say anything towards me, but when I looked at the man, I was like, bro, I mean, you should be less worried about Muslims and more worried about other things. I mean, bro, just look at your teeth. They were hideous. They were all in different sizes. They had multiple fucking spaces between them. They were black, yellow, I don't know. It was probably the most multi-colored teeth I've seen. The reason I say that, because the man was taller than me, so when I looked at him and he looked at me, I could see those terrible mouth he had. I was like, maybe you should focus more on your teeth, bro, than the Muslims. I mean, the Muslims ain't gonna kill you. It's gonna be fucking gingivitis. You know what I mean? Gingivitis is gonna get you, bro. Stop. Don't do that. They get you, man. But yeah, it was my first experience with like an anti-Muslim, anti-person rant in public, you know. But what can you do? You know, I got my shit, I paid, and I left. I need to stay there, and you can tell like most of the people that were in line were pretty uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Even though they maybe, I'm not saying they all were for Muslims or anything like that or anti-Muslim, but it was just funny because you could just feel like a awkwardness in the air. So, I mean, what can you do? What can you do? Those people, you're gonna run into those people all the time. I'm just glad he didn't come up to me or didn't say anything to me or be like, "Hey, are you Muslim or Mexican?" Or he would have gone like, like for the wall, like, "Hey man, we got a building wall. I have a Mexican friends, but the Mexicans here we have enough. We don't need any more. We need them wall a lot bigger. We need to stop them, the Mexicans and the Muslims, and God forbid there's Mexican Muslims, because then we got a real problem." But luckily, nope. Just kind of just kind of kept doing his thing, and that was it. That was it, man. It's funny. It's just funny. It's funny, like that's the world we live in now, that people want to at a gas station or the random spot. I don't even think he bought anything. He didn't have anything in his hands. And he just there ranting about the holidays, about not being able to say happy. You can say happy holidays, man. Fuck, who cares? Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa. What is the Jewish one? Hanukkah. Come on, relax, dude. Like I said, go worry about your teeth. It's more likely you die from gingivitis attack, gingivitis, than a Muslim coming at you. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. It does make it easier to drink on this podcast. It just loosens me up a little bit, just a teeny little bit. But yeah, guys. Otherwise, that was my one story. That was my one story. I mean, I have more stories, man, but just some things I had to like hold up on. You know what I mean? Like you guys know, I work in a place where you take care of sick people and crazy people, and I have millions. I probably come out with like 10 stories every single time I go to work. But those I gotta keep them to myself for now. I just don't want to. I don't want to get fired. But one day, or as time goes by, slowly but surely, some of those stories will come out, and you guys will be amazed at the shit I see at work. The shit I see. Anybody who works in that type of line of work, I mean, it's I probably come up with like 2 jokes every time I come to work. I see something or I hear something, I'm like, oh, blah 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 blah, da 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 da. It's good. It's good stuff. But let's get into it, guys. Let's get to start talking. I mean, let's get into what's going on in the world. Oh yeah. Before I even start with that, so I recently gotten back into, I guess you can say, Howard Stern. I remember watching Howard Stern when I was a little kid on E, and it would be like super late show. It would show up at like probably like at 10 or 11, and they always had crazy stuff on it, like they would have people from the dark world and people from the shadows of this country show up on the show. On the show, you had the Beetlejuice, you had the drunk midget, you had so many fucking characters on that show. And I mean, I used to watch it when I was a kid. I probably didn't understand the humor as much as I do now, but just recently, like within the last couple of weeks, I've seen a couple of clips on YouTube of like the show they post up. And man, fucking Howard Stern is still awesome, man. He's still funny, dude. He's not as raunchy as he used to be. He's calmed down a lot, at least when it comes to the show. But I mean, dude still has it, man. The dude's 65 years old. He's been doing the show since probably let's see, probably from the 80s. I would assume late 80s maybe. But I mean, the show's still good, man. It's still funny. I mean, a lot of the people who've been on there have been on there since day one. I mean, and you got to give this man a lot of credit for, even for podcasts these days. He's he's given us basically the privilege of like basically saying as much as we want. I mean, even though podcasts, I don't, you just post it up on the internet and anybody can listen to it, and nobody can tell you can't post it up, which is different. But for radio, it was a big deal. You couldn't be as raunchy, as you wanted, until basically he came along and he kind of like broke the seal. And then from there, you got, radio shows like the one with Charlemagne the God. What is it called? What is it called? Charlemagne. Such a weird ass name. Charlemagne the God. Is it like Power 103 or something? Let's see. The Breakfast Club. Yeah, like shows like that, and people like your shows to where you can say and speak as much as you want. If it wasn't for Howard, we wouldn't be able to do shit like that. So it's just cool, man. It was just cool, man. It's just like I said, I just enjoy it. I enjoy watching it, and it still cracks me up. And I saw some old episodes with, like, Beetlejuice on it, and I mean that dude's just a character on his own. You can't. That dude is just hilarious, And I always felt somewhat weird when he brought like people with like disabilities, mental disabilities on the show, and he kind of poked fun at them in a way. And I'm not for that. I know who is, but I don't know. It's like I feel like in the same time, even though he kind of like pokes fun at the person or something, he does kind of. I mean, he helps them out. It seems like he does like, he does look out for the guys. Once like they become in his inner circle, he does kind of like take care of them to an extent. But yeah, I mean overall, dude. I mean, if you guys have never seen Howard Stern or remember watching it from back in the day, I mean, it's still pretty good, man. It's still a pretty good show. Yeah, the other thing I wanted to say was just today I saw I was at the gym getting my workout in. Something GAMMAL'S doesn't do, or KingDiaz for those who know him as that name. And I usually listen to a podcast or I listen to music. I switch off just because either or it gets boring after a while. But I was listening to a podcast, and I'm on YouTube. My what is it called? Yeah, my subscription. A little alert that comes up. It came out that Tom Segura had come out with a new podcast, and it was called Tom Segura en español, which means in Spanish. And Tom Segura is a comedian. He has his own podcast, Your Mom's House podcast. He has Two Bears, One Cave with Bert Kreischer. Very popular comedian, multiple specials on Netflix. Really good, really funny guy. And I didn't know, when I first heard of him, I didn't know he was his mother was from Peru. And he just mentioned that he talks Spanish. And he said a couple of things. You can always hear it, and it was cool. It was cool to see a comedian like him. At least, especially for like a Latino like me. That he was, he embraces his culture and his language. And now he's doing a podcast where he does it completely in Spanish, which is dope, which is pretty dope. And in the podcast he says his Spanish isn't really as good as it used to be, and which is probably true, but it's pretty damn fucking good. It's pretty damn good. I'm not gonna lie. His accent is pretty on point. I mean, he forgets a couple words here and there, but that happens to all of us, But yeah, it was pretty good, man. It's just really good. If you guys want to check that out, it's for anybody who speaks Spanish, it's very cool. It's very cool to see him do that. He's as funny as he is in English, and that's kind of hard to pull out sometimes. But yeah, threw him a shout out on our podcast Instagram. Oh well, not whole. I think I didn't assume he would like repost or send me a gracias back, but it was cool. It was cool. I thought people should definitely check it out. It's I don't know if there's any podcasts in Spanish there probably is at this point, but none that I heard of. And if he's able to take that market. Talking about that money, boy. We're talking about that dinero. Because I mean, I could probably do a podcast in Spanish, but, I would have to, like, same as him, really work on it. I mean, my Spanish is pretty good, but it's not the same. It's not the same as, I don't know if I would say it. I'm probably as comfortable as it is in English because my English is terrible. I mean, I when I talk, I jump into like different accents. Sometimes like a New York accent comes out of me, or like a Boston accent. It's weird. Like some words I say them in a completely different manner that makes no sense, especially because I'm from the Midwest and I've never been anywhere else. You know what I mean? I've only lived in Illinois, or Illinois, for those of you people who understand the other lingo. But yeah, very cool podcast. You guys should definitely check it out. Gotta throw some love out there. Not that he needs it, but you know what I mean? Because it's like we have like 10 listeners for every 5,000 listeners. We have one. So it's like what he gained a listener from this probably. But yeah, it's very cool. Very cool. I enjoyed it a lot. The first episode was only like 32 minutes, which is like perfect. For a first one, and he's doing it by himself. He's just talking to himself, and he calls his mom, and it's funny, man. It's a funny thing. It's a funny thing. But yeah, guys, this is going all right? Right? You guys are not bored? You guys bored? Because I don't want you guys to be bored. I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best. And I'm completely forgetting to look at the camera. 'Cause I'm not KingDiaz. And I don't look at the camera as much as I should. Especially now. Yeah, guys. Well, let's keep going, man. Let's keep going. Let's see how far we can get to today. So the other thing I want to talk about is that new Black Widow trailer. So I'm gonna watch it right now. Let's see. I saw it once before. As you guys know, I'm a big Marvel fan. I enjoyed the films. Some more than others, but definitely I'm a fan of the Marvel cinematic universe. So let's see. So I've shared my thoughts on this film before already with KingDiaz in past episodes. I like Black Widow's character. Scarlett Johansson does a pretty damn good job of it. Obviously, spoiler for people who haven't seen the fucking movie, but the new one, the latest one, I guess you could say. She dies at the end, sacrifices her soul for the Soul Stone, and so her saga's over. She's done, right? She's dead. That's it. So it didn't really make any sense for them to make this movie. In my personal, I feel like they're almost like just doing her a favor, like in sense like, you did you made you've been a great character, you've been a great actress, and why not? Let's give you your movie. Why not? Let's do it. Let's make a Black Widow film. And don't get me wrong, I think it would have made more sense in the earlier on. You know what I mean? Now that she's dead and her saga's over, I just don't see the point. I don't see the point for this film. You know what I mean? It seems like it's just a pointless thing because you're gonna introduce new characters and new villains and this whole new story of her, and I don't know what timeline it belongs in. I don't know if it's between certain events in the universe, but I don't know. I feel like it would have been cooler. It would have been cooler if it would have been done before. If they would have decided to do this earlier on. Because now it's just kind of pointless. Don't get me wrong. In saying that, I do think the movie looks pretty cool. It looks like a good action movie. That's what it looks like. Taking the whole Marvel, thing away from it. It just seems like a good movie. It seems like a good action movie. And I mean, I guess that's the way to look at it at this point. You know what I mean? You just need to, there's no, like I said, there's nothing, there's nothing really to look forward to it. Like, oh man, like, all right, so this is where Marvel's going now, right? Like Marvel, this is the new storyline of Marvel. It's just a movie from the old storyline that's being made now. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I probably won't see it in movie theaters. I probably won't go out and see it, but I'll definitely watch it once it's on digital release. I'm watching the trailer and it looks like I said, it looks like a good action movie. Definitely would watch it digitally, but not probably at the cinema. But yeah, hopefully. I mean, I just don't, like I said, whatever. Just leave it at that. Hopefully, looks like a good movie. She's a badass actress. Definitely deserved her own movie. I just wish it would have been done earlier on. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I have to say about that movie. I mean, obviously they got that guy from Stranger Things. He plays this looks like a Russian Captain America, which was pretty cool. That's pretty damn cool. But the thing is that I wonder how they're gonna. Obviously, from the trailer, it looks like she doesn't have an accent, so that's kind of funny still. Because Black Widow in the comics here, she is Russian. You know what I mean? And she had the Russian accent for like a little bit. Did she in one of the movies? Maybe in the first one. Maybe, I don't know. But I mean, that's whatever. It doesn't make it or break it. Man, yeah. I mean, what else, guys? What else? Let's talk about the whole Conor McGregor thing coming back. Conor McGregor's coming back next year. He's fighting in 2020. He says he wants 3 fights in next year. And obviously the first fight will be Cowboy Cerrone. Yeah, guys. Well, I mean, Kamal called it. He called it on the podcast. I think he called it on a couple of podcasts before. He said this was the fight that was going to happen. And, yeah, I mean, he was right. He's right. I called him up. So he was fucking crazy and he proved me wrong. So I humbly apologize for this. Come on, this drink is for you, my friend. But, yeah, guys. Yeah, I mean, it's whatever. I'm not crazy about this fight, to be honest. It's because, it's one of those things where I like both fighters. I like Conor McGregor. I like Donald Cerrone. Both are coming off losing streaks. Who needs it more? Conor McGregor, probably. Conor McGregor, no, for sure. Conor McGregor needs this more. The fight's at 172, which is kind of weird, because the only fights Conor's fought at 170 versus Nate Diaz. He lost the first one, he won the second one, and he seems like he doesn't have the same amount of energy when he does at 170. So I don't know. I don't think I think he picked 170 because I don't think he feels like he can make the one cut, the 155 cut. Like, I feel like if he drops that drop of, going down to 155 after not fighting for like a year or two, probably. Let's see, how long has it been since he fought? Probably it's been a year, right? A year since the last fight. Let's look. Conor McGregor. Where are you, bro? No. Oh wait, there you go. Dun dun dun. This is where I need my own guy to do this, talking and looking up shit, especially when I type like a 4-year-old. Yeah, so it's been a year and some months, and depending, I'm not sure when the fight's in. But yeah, it's been a while. It's been a year. It's been a year since he fought, and I feel like he thinks that 155 cut gonna be a little bit too much. I feel like he feels like he might be a little depleted at that weight class. And especially would have made more sense because when Donald Cerrone drops, that's a hard weight cut for him. So I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know if he thinks that, Cowboy's washed up, or he doesn't want to. He thinks he can beat him in either weight class, and he's like, "Well, I might as well just do it at 170, where I don't have to lose a lot of weight, and just worry about getting back into fighting shape." In a sense, I don't know, but it's just it'll be a good fight either way. If you had to ask me now, without watching promos or without seeing the training camps or any of that bullshit, I would have to go with. I would probably have to go with Cowboy. I think Cowboy has more tools overall to beat him. I mean, I think Cowboy would for sure win. For sure win. Like, if he cared about the win more than how he won, in what fashion, I think it would be smart for him just to go double leg, single leg, double leg, single leg, double leg, and just go for a takedown. Takedown early in the rounds. Get him. Lay on him. Ground and pound, and just earn this decision win. Or hopefully he Conor would gas out with defending the takedowns, and you would be able to win. Once he gassed out and get like a ground and pound victory, or submission win, or going all 5 rounds and just laying and praying basically. I feel like he could win that fight pretty easily if he did it in that format. If he didn't care about getting the knockout, And if he were to win, I mean, fuck, dude. I would retire. I mean, why not? I mean, even though, it's still Conor McGregor, right? Doesn't matter that he lost his last fight, and the name is huge. You win, you beat one of the biggest names in martial arts history, and you go off to the sunset, man. You get on that horse, and you just fucking put your cowboy hat on, and you fucking, and poof, fucking take that horse and gone, son. Take that money and run. It's like a train robbery with old cowboys. Conor McGregor's the train, and you're just the fucking cowboy, and just take that fucking money and run, retire, and drink all the monsters you want, and all the Bud Light or Budweiser or whatever companies you're sponsored by, And Conor McGregor, obviously, if he wins, he's back in the mix. And now those three fights that he wants next year make sense. Because if he loses the fight, then what's the point in seeing him fight again? You know what I mean? And especially depending if he loses badly, if he loses by like a knockout, or if he gasses within the first round, like, why? I don't want to see you fight anymore, bro. You got more money than most athletes will ever acquire in any sport. Retire, get, enjoy your money, enjoy your family, enjoy proper whiskey, and just live a good life, man. Live a very good life. But if he wins, like that Jorge fight, even though I personally would like to see him fight Khabib one more time. I don't know if he beats him. Depending what Tony does with Khabib too, because if Tony comes in and decimates Khabib, then who knows, right? So I think if Tony beats Khabib, Conor beats Cerrone, I think things get very interesting again at 170 and 155. Because then you have multiple fights to do, right? Because, obviously, Khabib wins Tony. If Khabib beats Tony, I don't think Khabib calls him out. I think Khabib probably calls out George St. Pierre again. If Conor beats Cerrone, I think he mentions Khabib, but he doesn't do like a full call out, And if Tony beats Khabib, I don't think Conor mentions it at all. Or maybe he mentions then maybe he does call out Khabib, depending how he lost. Like, what I'm saying? Like, if Tony goes in there and starks him, completely beats him up, and drops him, and completely destroys Khabib, the legend, then I could see Conor probably getting some confidence. He'd be like, oh yeah, I can do that. Oh, see, the problem was that I wasn't using my footwork well enough to keep my distance, so you wouldn't be able to get that takedown. So it's good fights, man. We have some good fights coming up. The whole Jorge thing, Masvidal being in the picture now. George St. Pierre, he's always looking good. Even though he hasn't fought since he beat Bisping at 185. His coach, Faraz Zahabi, was on Joe Rogan's podcast like a week ago. And he was saying that he still got him, man. He still moves as good or even better as ever. I mean, he's a coach, so you expect him to say stuff like that. But yeah, I could definitely see that fight happening, man. George St. Pierre was to come back. If George St. Pierre was to come back and he was to beat Khabib at 155, depending on how, obviously if Khabib was to beat Tony Ferguson, and George St. Pierre comes back, beats him at 155 for the belt. I mean, I don't know if we can doubt. I've always said this. I've said this multiple times. I think on this podcast, definitely. And just a conversation with people when it comes to MMA. If George St. Pierre beats him, there's no doubt in my mind that he's pound for pound. He's number one. Doesn't matter. I don't care how many times John Jones defends the belt. I don't care how many times Steve Abe defends the belt. Henry Cerudo probably gets some. Henry Cerudo probably it's just more to argue there with him. But even then, I don't think, or Anderson Silva. I don't think this without a doubt in my mind that George St. Pierre is the greatest mixed martial arts ever. At this point, at least at this point in history, because he defended the 170 belt for multiple times. He came back after being retired for a year or two, or a couple years, maybe 3 years. He comes back. He beats Bisping at 185, which is probably no offense to Bisping, but probably the easiest fight he could have taken at 185. And he beats him. Obviously retires the belt. Yeah, what I mean? There's probably tougher fights in that weight class that made more sense for him. And then if he comes back and he wins 155, I mean, is there any doubt? Can you doubt him? Can you say he's not the number one fighter of all time? I don't know, man. I don't know if you can deny that in history. I don't think he's given enough credit as it is. I think people forget about him so easily, which is weird enough because in my personal opinion, he was one of the biggest. Not even my personal opinion. Like in fact, he was one of the biggest mixed martial artists ever to come out of the UFC or to fight for the UFC. So being that he's not given his props, crazy, man. It's crazy because just multiple MMA shows that that I watch. The Rogans, the Brendan Schaubs, the Ariel Helwanis, and I feel like they always forget them. I feel like they don't mention them. They talk up. To be fair, they talk about current fighters who are still fighting, but I feel like people forget how fucking good he was. And he fought some tough dudes. I mean, not like some people use the excuse, well, these were not the fighters these were not the good as good of fighters, or he fought when the weight class was very weak and he defended the belt because of that reason, blah blah blah. The excuse they always give Mighty Mouse, but. Or, the reason against Mighty Mouse being a pound for pound is that for that reason. But, it's like, that doesn't matter. You can't pick the fighters you beat. Or maybe these are good fucking fighters, but you make them look bad. It's like they almost forget about that. Fuck. She's making me angry, man. I'm not even trying to get angry. But the nice thing about this is that, for you guys watching the video, I have my little cocktail shaker right here, and I have my little refill ready to go. Let's pour that in there. Look at that. It's beautiful. There you go, guys. Another drink ready to go, just like that. This is one of the luxuries of a solo podcast. I drink for one now. I save on alcohol. Yeah, but guys, those are my 2 cents, man. My 2 cents when it comes to the MMA world. Like I said, I enjoy it. I think we have some good fights coming out this year. Good advice coming out this year. All right, guys. Well, I say for the first one, let's end it here. Why not? Let's end it right here. Let's not drag it more than we have to. Like I said, guys, these episodes will be getting better. Trust me. It's my first solo podcast. It was a little nerve wracking. I'm not gonna lie. Just because I want to make it entertaining for you guys. It's not, I'm not nervous talking or, not that I can come up with enough conversation, because that's simple enough. But I just want to make it funny for you guys, and things might change as the podcast progresses. I might start bringing some segments to the podcast. Other things we could talk about. We're also thinking about doing a segment where we call KingDiaz, and we catch up with him. We do like a 15-20 minute conversation or less or whatever. We call him up and see what he's doing, how the light's going up in Florida, and so you guys can kind of see what's going on with him. But thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys being patient with me. If you guys who listened the whole episode, thousands, thank you. Really, I really, 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 really appreciate it, guys. Let's see. Let's get all the Instagram things out of the way. So, you guys, like always, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for commenting, subscribing, for everything you guys do for Daily Insomnia Podcast. You can find us on daily.insomnia on Instagram, Daily Insomnia Podcast on YouTube, and Daily Insomnia Podcast on Facebook. Make sure you guys check out our Instagram page, our Facebook page. Our YouTube videos are funny. Obviously, now you guys can see how nervous I was in the beginning of this episode, just by my facial features. But guys, like I said, thank you for listening. Thank you for commenting. And you guys send us questions. Let us know what you guys want me to talk about. I'm willing to break down a lot of things. Give my 2 cents. Give you some quality bullshit, as I say it. But guys, like I said, thank you for listening. This is Daily Insomnia, episode 113. Signing off. Thank you.
Hey guys, KingDiaz Live here, part of Daily Insomnia. If you guys liked the video today, hey, subscribe here. You guys want to see any of the old content? Hey, check out the videos right here. But if anything, enjoy. Cheers, mate.